I hope everybody has enjoyed their dinner. It is now time to start our program this evening. Again, Racer Hoopalooza was a brainchild of Steve Prohm 9 years ago as an opportunity to celebrate the past and the present and the future, which 9 years ago we never could have imagined what the last 9 years brought us. And now as this program gets ready to head to a new conference and new opportunities are certainly on the horizon as we expect more great things out of this basketball program. So without further ado, I want to welcome up the once and current men's basketball coach here at Murray State University, Steve Prohm.
Thanks, Jeff. Difference between the first time I was here and the last time, I got glasses now, so I'm going to put them right here in case I need them. Really thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I love this. It's my favorite weekend of the year, basketball related, and then senior night's probably my favorite day of the year, basketball-wise, and so very, very excited to be back. A great piece being back here in Murray, and for my wife and I, obviously, this is home for us, and I really hope you guys really enjoy this evening and then enjoy all the festivities tomorrow between the golf, the pickup, and then our social for the players at the Apple tomorrow evening. Really excited to honor this team. I think the theme of this year is obviously honoring Coach Steve Newton and the job he did here, but also honoring our first NCAA tournament team, 1988 team that beat NC State in Lincoln, Nebraska, but also the team that started the 27-year winning streak. An amazing run here of 27 straight consecutive winning seasons, started in 1988 with this team right here. And so I got a couple quick thank yous. Brock Radecki and his staff, thank you. Try to meet with Brock and Dave all the time, text, okay, because I do, this is the one, there's a couple things I'm anal about, and this is an event I'm anal about because I want it to be really, really good for you players. The operations staff, Greg Fry, Josh Andell, thank you for your time. The custodial staff, the prep group, their staff, my man Channing and his group come by our office every day to visit. The Racer dining staff for your meal tonight. The ticket office that handles all the tickets for this evening. Racer Dave, and we call him Racer Dave, but that's Dave Winder over there. A man of many hats, but his staff and the job that they did with this. And then Jeff. For being here tonight. And the one thing I wanted to thank Jeff about, he did a documentary on my first year as the head coach here. Unfortunately, 4 of the 5 starters from that team are here tonight. And then one of the other players, Ed, stand up, Isaiah, Juwan Long, Dante Poole, Jordan Burge, from my first team. I can't thank these guys enough. They were... They were my first group, and we had a pretty good run together that year. But when Jeff decided to do the documentary, you don't know if somebody's just doing something to do it and check a box or really going to put all their heart and soul into it. And Jeff, I thought you did an amazing job and really appreciate that. A couple people I want to introduce, our president, Dr. Bob Jackson. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. Where are you at, Bob? Bob Jackson, are you here? Did you sneak out? Did he sneak out? Okay. Make sure he knows we thanked him. The other guy I want to thank and introduce, and most of you know him, our interim athletic director, Matt Kelly. Really the heart and soul of this athletic department in a lot of ways over the last 15, 18 years. He's got an amazing connection with all of our former players, men's basketball, women's basketball. Dante Poole wouldn't be my GA right now if Matt wasn't staying on his butt to finish his degree. And so thank you, Matt, for what you do here. Real quick, we got a lot of players, new players. that you guys are going to get familiar with this year. But if you'll just stand real quick and give a quick wave. I'll start with the freshman, Braxton Stacker. Sam Murray. Jackson Edwards. Justin Morgan. And then Patrick Chu, whose father actually coached here with me as an assistant. And then I'll announce this group quick, and then we give them a round of applause. Those are freshmen, so we'll make them feel really good. This next group, Jacoby Wood, Brian Moore, Quincy Anderson, Rob Perry. If you need anybody to MC anything for you, an event, that's your guy. He is phenomenal. Kenny White, Jamari Smith, Marlon Leston. Okay, and then I wanted to say these two for last because these were the last two standing. And I wanted to talk to them last because just to let them know again how much we appreciated them staying with us, sticking by us, and staying true to us and our vision for where we want to continue to take this program. Rod Thomas, whose father played here. And Mr. Personality, Mr. Energy, DJ Burns. We got a new staff, so I want to make sure we all introduce all of them. Antoine Jackson. Johnny Maddox. Cole Christian, his girlfriend Jess is with him tonight. Every time we're on a Zoom now, we give this guy a big-time introduction because he's a Hall of Famer. Played in the NBA, got his jersey retired. And so when we do our introductions on Zoom, I'll introduce everybody, and then we'll save him for last, and then we hit confetti on the Zoom, and the whole thing comes. But one of the best to ever play here, Marcus Brown. Jack Seltsam, who was a manager here, a GA here, and now is our video coordinator. And then Dante Poole, who's our graduate assistant. And the really cool thing about those last three, they're all Murray State graduates, okay? And it's great to have them back here. My strength coach, Eric Murphy. And the guy who's been here 30, 35, he may never leave. Eric Frederick, our trainer. I think his son Elliot's with him tonight. And then I don't think she's here tonight, but our secretary, Crystal Morrow. One person I do want to introduce, there's a quote Oprah Winfrey said, Don't hang with people who are going to ride with you when you're in the limo. Find somebody when the limo breaks down that they'll take the bus with you. In the last couple of years, we've been good, bad, ugly, and she's been the rock. Katie, love you. One person I do want to introduce and call up here, and she's going to be mad at me for doing this, but that's okay. She came to work here with this coach, Coach Newton. She's got a connection to probably more players than anybody here, all right, more than Matt Kelly. I was with one of her sons at the country club. I was with the kids at the pool, and they're telling a story. and she's at home 8, 9 o'clock at night making camp note cards, and her husband's wondering, man, what are you doing, man? It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Let's, read a book, watch a movie. And she's like, well, I didn't have a chance at work to get this done, man. I got to make sure this is right, man. We got to have this done for camp. And really, really excited to see her go in the Hall of Fame this year. But Miss Cheryl, I wanted her to come up and recognize her. Coach Tevester's here. She worked for Tevester. She worked for me when I was an assistant. Yeah, everybody give Coach T's here. She's been like the heart and soul of that basketball program, and every great program has one. It's a secretary like that. I was blessed when I was at Iowa State. We had one. Worked in the office. I was her 8th coach. She worked in the office 40 years, and when the players came back, as many knew me as knew her, and they're the connection and lifeline. And so thanks, Ms. Cheryl, for what you do for this program, what you've done for this program over the years. Real quick, I know I'm going on, but everyone talks about the new move to the new conference, and that's really exciting. But I don't think this program and this place has ever been defined by its conference affiliation. I think it's been defined. I think we've defined it here. We defined ourselves by what we did on the court. We would defined ourselves here by what we did in the classroom, by the character, the integrity, the toughness, the unselfishness of the way our teams played, of our guys, and how our guys impacted this community. And for the last 50, 70-plus years, we've done it here at a high major level. And there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, it's a credit to our leadership. It's a credit to you guys, the fan base, the great coaches, support staffs that have been here. But most importantly, man, it's a credit to you guys, you players. The ones that we honor, and hopefully continue to honor every year this last weekend of July. You're the ones that have made this program so special. Think about it, and if you really do and you follow college basketball, how many programs can really do something like this and hold an event like this? If you really think about it, there's not many. Okay, that can play in front of sellout crowds, 9,000 people the last game here against Belmont, and when I was here 10 years ago, 9,000 people, okay? We had 25 people at pickup this summer on a weekend on a Saturday, okay? I know there's not a ton of stuff to do here, but Saturday at 11, I mean, you could find something different, but I've never seen that before. And, from Benny Purcell to Tevin Brown, the beat goes on. This program hasn't missed a beat, and I'm excited about the future. If you look around, you got 4 of the 6 living players here with their jerseys retired. Okay, you've got the leading scorer in the history school here in Jeff Martin. You got Marcus Brown here, who has the most points ever in a Murray State basketball game. You got the 3 winningest players, Isaiah, Ed, and Jordan Burge, the winningest players in the history school here. Okay, and then you got a player here in Paul King that won 4 straight OVC championships. So you got an elite class of people around you and players. And the last story I'll tell you, there's a lot of things that define this place, but the coolest thing is probably the connection here with the community. And so I'll tell one quick story and I'll get off because I want to share this. And I'll share this from recruiting a little bit. I was coming through the training room during camp, and all the players were talking about, Eric Frederick was talking to one of my coaches about D.T. Mays. So I was like, okay, good player, obviously really good player, Hall of Famer. But I was like, man, that's odd. I wonder why Eric's talking about D.T. Mays. So I come out here on the court and I meet D.T. Mays. He's out here watching camp. Come over, say hello. I met D.T. a couple times. He spoke at the first Hoopalooza, introducing Mark Godfrey. And I said, man, what are you doing in town? Well, he was in town for Janet Futrell's father's funeral. D.T. Mays played here in 1998. It's 24 years later. and he's coming back for somebody's funeral that he met here and built a relationship with in Murray, Kentucky. How many programs can you do that at? And I was talking to Tony and George, and some people get this, some people know, and I don't, because I don't want, there's so many people we've lost, you know, to Ron Green, obviously Cal Luther, but one of my guys, you know, Pete Waldrop, but, you know, I told George and Tony I was just going to say at the end, just hubba hubba.
I've known Steve a long time. That was the first time I've ever heard him for Winfrey, so we've come a long way, buddy. I came to this area in 2002 and walked into this building for the first time, and I saw a whole lot of banners hanging up here. And as I learned about the program, it was sort of described as this little engine that could, where they get to the tournament all the time. They just had that one win back in 1988. And as the years went on, and they kept getting to the tournament, and they kept getting close, and then they finally won another. Then they finally won another. And I remember asking a friend, I said, I wonder how many wins in the tournament Murray State is going to have before you remember immediately how many wins they have in the tournament. Because forever it was just one. It's 5 now. It's been a heck of a decade. But we couldn't have 5 without the first one. When they finally kicked the door in. And that door has been wide open. I know a lot of folks are hoping that it stays wide open for decades to come. Want to check out the video screen now and take a look back at a 35-year run that has been amazing. We'll just leave it at that.
Let's begin where it all started. Lincoln, Nebraska, 1988, Murray State versus NC State.
Five seconds, 4 seconds. He puts it up. It is no good. It's over. Racers win. Racers win 78-75.
The Racers upset the Wolfpack for their first NCAA tournament win, 79-75. San Jose, California, 2010, Murray State versus Vanderbilt.
Murray State coming in, 13-seeded team in the West. It's taken inside. Layup is up and good. That's Ivan Aska. That broke a school record established back in the 1930s. A historic season for the Racers. Thoroughness, the name of the game early. Nice little drive inside by Miles, and there's the dunk we were talking about.
Troubling for Vanderbilt so far in the game.
It's Dante Poole checking in. The sophomore setting up Isaiah Cannon. Vanderbilt is trying to get comfortable. Very unfamiliar teams, obviously, having not seen each other
In this game so far.
Vanderbilt not protecting the defensive glass. Nice little shake and bake maneuver by Dinero Thomas with Vandy early in this game. We're tied at 31. Nice inside maneuver by the Fort Lauderdale native. Murray State looking to build on a 6-point lead. Jenkins, a wide open space.
Notice the switch.
Taylor steps out. A fadeaway three from the freshman Isaiah Cannon. Points on the day. The answer on the other side. Shot clock at 10. Thomas glances at the clock. Trying to take Walker off the dribble. Fadeaway shot rolls in. Bob, no timeouts left for Murray State. 4 seconds. Vanderbilt a 1-point lead. McClain inbounding. Right corner to Miles. Finding space. Here's Thomas. 1 second. Got it at the buzzer! And 13-seeded Murray State has pulled off the opening round shocker.
He gets it to Miles. Miles takes it to Dinero Thomas. Jumper for the win. Good! It's good! It's good! The Racers win on the jumper by Dinero Thomas. A dog pile in the end zone. And we're dancing and extending the stay to San Jose!
Dinero Thomas's buzzer beater sinks the Commodores 66-65. Louisville, Kentucky, 2012. Murray State versus Colorado State.
Nice double on the box. And Dante Poole, there you go. Nice curl. There you go. Nice read. Ball on the floor, back outside. Nice ball fake. That's Stacy Wilson for three. Energizes Murray State Racer team. How about that cross and blow by? Eichmeyer. Isaiah Cannon, floater in the lane, trying to use the backboard. Nice. Easy car. Here's Eichmeyer. Nice hands away. Here's Cannon. And Aska. Daniels. Yes. Hung with it. Time from Jesse Carr. We don't need it. Another one. Not a good look by Carr. Oh my goodness. Pull-up jumper. Johnson. Why he's on the floor. Look at the footwork. He caused that turnover. Here's Poole. Off the glass and in. Dante Poole, Carr. Look at Dante Poole. Keeps it. Jawan Long. Foul. Yes. Nice control, huh? We have good kids, good coaching. You get have a season like this. Two fine young coaches meet at midcourt.
The Racers stuffed the Rams for their first NCAA tournament win as the higher seed, 58-41. Hartford, Connecticut, 2019. Murray State versus Marquette.
Drawing to D. John Morant. Lob to the rim, and it's an E. So Morant takes it and drills it.
But when it gets deep right here, you've got one of the best playmakers in the nation making that play.
Jaw crossing over, rocking the cradle, and creating for Shaq Buchanan. Morant, way past Chartucci, draws 5, kicks, and another assist from Cohen. Back into the hands of John Morant, trailed by Bailey. Look to the rim for Gilmore. No screen, it's all John. Step back, Jack, for John. The tournament's 2 leading scorers, and hammers it home. It's a jaw jam.
Buchanan, no look pass, goes inside for the dunk. Morant, wow! Look at this arena explode.
No, he did not, and they are on their feet.
Has another rebound, and John, speed racer. With Joey Hauser and Brendan Bailey chasing, whipped inside.
Tell you what, Brendan Bailey's done as good a job as you really can do on him. It is so impossible 23 points on 27 field goal attempts.
Williams with a dunk. Morant on Bailey, shot fake, floats it, and one more. Races past Marquette.
Murray State's fourth NCAA win includes a triple-double by Ja Morant in an 83-64 win. Indianapolis, Indiana, 2022. Murray State versus San Francisco.
Another catch for Williams in the post. Look at this one.
Fade away. Oh, boy. And it's Tevin Brown. And it's blocked by Bouye. The follow goes in the East region. Williams, catch, fire, bottom, a three. San Francisco. Hill, the drive, running one hand short. And it's rebounded by Brown. Whips it ahead.
Wow.
Skipper Brown, big finish. 41-38, San Francisco. Hannibal inside, gets it to go. Jumper, Brown had to hesitate. Short, Williams, offensive rebound. Green light, jumper goes.
He's finding that shot, but they're giving it to him. Look at this drive.
Hannibal puts it down.
Wow, that was quick.
Smith's jumper, he cans it. Murray State. Hill off the dribble handoff. High arcer, good, and a foul. Bouye stripped of the ball, taken away. DJ Burns, get it ahead. Brown, bam, a three. Since the Dons' last appearance in the NCAA tournament, they got a 2-point lead in overtime. It rims in for KJ Williams. Clock at 8.
Thought that was to Williams, that lob.
Brown, jumper, got it. Nearly lost it. Brown, ball fake. The shimmy, the bucket, and the foul.
Action.
Hill, shot clock winding down. Finds Williams for the bucket and the foul. Brown splits defenders, drives in, couldn't finish, put home. Skipper Brown inside. 11 points, 10 rebounds for the grad transfer from Eastern Illinois. And another reminder, March is here, and it's glorious. Murray State racing into the second round with an overtime victory against San Francisco.
The Racers outlast the Dons in overtime, 92-87, for their fifth win in the NCAA tournament.
Folks, let's hear it for 5 NCAA tournament wins. You know, it wasn't that long ago, 2002, when I came back here, which the best thing that ever happened to me and my family was to be able to come back to Murray State. I thought, gosh, I'd like to be here when we win another one. And then De Niro does that thing in 2010, and it just keeps going and going and going. Our last 8 coaches have taken the team to the NCAA tournament. That just shows you how good it's been. Great coaches finding great players. That's what it is. And it doesn't just happen. They do a lot of hard work to make it happen, their staffs. And then when the players get here, they do it, and that's how we've been very successful. We thought tonight that you'd like to hear from the fellas on that 1987-88 team. And we'll start with Lindsey Foster. Lindsey, come on up. I told him a minute ago he's going to be our leadoff hitter. Let's hear it for Lindsey Foster. He's still 6'6". Back in the day, he was 215. St. Louis, Missouri, and came to Murray State from Jefferson College. Great to have you here, Lindsey Foster. Lindsey wore number 42, by the way. Let's bring up Robert McClatchy, number 3. Robert McClatchy, back in the day, 6'7", 195. I'm reading right off the media guide roster. Well, we all agree Robert looks like he could still play a little bit. Robert from Tennessee. Let's go to Paul King, number 30, one of our retired jerseys. Paul, also from St. Louis. And Paul is part of our 2022 Hall of Fame class, and you'll see him be inducted in November. Great to have Paul here. Let's bring up number 24, Terrence Brooks from Paris, Kentucky. 6'2", 185 from Lee's Junior College. It's great to have you here. For a long time, I mean a really long time, number 23, Don Mann. Come on up, Don. He was Murray State's all-time assist leader until some kid from Dalzell, South Carolina named Ja Morant topped it. But for a long time, Don's name was there. Back living in his native Dyersburg, Tennessee. Great to have you, Don. Let's bring up Jeff Robbins. Jeff just got here from Fishers, Indiana. He walked in 5 minutes ago. And Jeff, it's great to have you here tonight. Go ahead and come on up. All the guys are going to want to say hi to him because he wasn't here for all the mingle at the beginning. At the time, Jeff was a 6'1" freshman from Muncie, Indiana. Great to have Jeff Robbins here. Number 21, Doug Gould is here. Our Gold is here. Doug living in Nashville now. He's got his son here tonight. 6'7", 200, a sophomore from Flemingsburg, Kentucky. Doug Gold. Great to have you here, Doug. And last but not least, number 15, also another retired jersey, Jeff Martin is here tonight. Murray State's all-time leading scorer. Still today, the all-time points guy in the state of Kentucky. Great to have you guys here. Of course, we had a bunch of great coaches, too, for head coach Steve Newton. Great staff. With Mark Burnson. Come on up, Mark. Mark was the big reason we had that St. Louis connection. Charles Cunningham is here tonight. It was great to see Charles living in Minnesota. Great to have Charles here tonight. And let's bring up Coach John Wyatt, living now in Frankfort, Kentucky. John, we were talking, you had a lot more hair back in the day. You had that great do going. And then Rick Metcalf was also a GA on that team, a Hall of Fame successful coach in Cesar, Illinois, still coaching high school basketball. So we wish we could have got all of them here, but maybe as we go through year after year, we'll get those guys back and they can enjoy this. Guys, let's hear it for this 1987-88 team. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you did.
These on. All right, I'm back. All right. Time to put you boys on the hot seat here. We'll start with the coaches first. Anybody's got anything to say? We'll do this like third grade. Just put your hand up. We'll get the microphone to you. We'll start with the coaches.
Thank you.
Question for you.
A question for me?
Question for you.
No, I'm talking. I'm not answering
All right,
questions.
fair enough.
All right?
Do I need to go sit down or what?
Go ahead.
Are you good? Just remember it's a 2-hour show. So.
I'm answering the question, or you're answering the question?
I'm going to ask the question.
Go.
All right. Steve Newton. What was it like working for Steve Newton?
I was a junior college coach when Steve hired me and brought me down, and we went in that little office over here, and I was bouncing off the walls. I was excited. Typically back then, we were JUCO jerks, and that's what I was. And I was wondering what we would do, what are we going to do, what are we going to do? And Steve looked at me and he said, you know what? We're going to be firm, fair, and consistent. That's how we're going to treat our players. That's how we're going to treat the staff. That's how we're going to treat the community. That's how we're going to treat the teachers. And that's how he treats everybody. Firm, fair, and consistent. He never asked anybody to do anything that they couldn't do. The other thing that he did, we had study hall, and most of those guys showed up for that. Yeah, most of them. And one night after study hall, Coach said, hey, take this form and have them fill it out. And what it was 3 goals or objectives they had for themselves and 3 for the team. And he said, have the assistants fill it out also. Everybody fills it out. So after study hall, they filled it out, and I collected them, and he said, we'll go over them in the morning. And, you know, I got back to the house, and I'm looking at them, and it was crazy. Dean's list, not going to happen, all right? 20 and 10, national championship, OVC championship, 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, not going to happen. Have a pretty girlfriend, not going to happen. But I'll tell you what, I said, Coach, these guys are nuts. We can't do all that stuff. We can't do that. And he said, no, listen to me. Those are their dreams. Those are what they want. It's our job to make those dreams come true. And he did that. Steve Newton did that and started an OVC dynasty that just ended. And now a new Steve is going to do the same thing in the Missouri Valley Conference. That's what I remember about Coach Newton. Thank you, Coach, for everything.
Thank you. No apologies necessary. One half of the M&M boys, Mr. Martin. You win a OVC championship. Started that season 2-6. Wasn't probably the best of starts. Lost a whole lot of games by 7, 6, 3, 2, 6, 1, 3. But in the end, the big one over at Racer Arena, Austin P, win a championship. Got to go to the NCAA tournament. What did that mean to you?
That was huge. We worked that whole year, worked that whole season to put ourselves in that position. We were fortunate enough to win a lot of games in the conference and win the conference and get to the NCAA, to have the opportunity to play against a great team like NC State. And everybody know what we did once we got there. Thanks to these guys right here, and it was definitely a great accomplishment for not only this team but for the university.
Anybody else want to chime in with being back? What's it mean to walk back into here and obviously not old Racer Arena anymore, but still come back and see all the banners and all the tradition that you guys helped start?
We're extremely excited to be back, and it's not just about us individually, but it's about the community. We got people like Mr. and Ms. Martin and Janet Future and Ms. Whitaker who were like parents away from home. They took us in and embraced us, and through our ups and downs and trials and tribulations, they stood by us, and you see the product of them standing by us, the type of men that are standing on the stage, not only success in their careers, but as fathers and husbands, and they're just a bunch of good men.
Murray State University. Maybe not the basketball program, but this university. What does Murray State mean to you?
Murray State to me is like a family. I got here, I was blessed for Coach Newton. I want to thank him because he gave me the opportunity to play. And I had most of the players here. Don Mann, he came and I guess he told the coach about me. Excuse me, and gave me a chance.
For me, Murray State, I'm in awe just being back, being able to come back into such a presence as this. Has always been a genuine feel and concern that I received from the very first day I got here. And for me to be able to be honored to be a part of the Racer Nation and this community, I have to even just start off with Coach Mark Bernstein, who recruited me, gave me an opportunity to even meet everyone and even to experience what I've experienced here, and also to come into contact with Coach Newton. As he was talking, I'm looking at all of this, and when you started out about this team kind of started a winning way that it seemed like is just continuing to be able to start something like that, to pioneer it. My hat goes off. I talk about Coach Newton and the staff quite often. So this was my first. That's true what he said about the firm, the fairness, and consistency, and that's something that we were not only engraving in our practices. I found out that it also have helped me in my life. So when you're speaking on what Mary has been to me, just with my metamorphosis of becoming a man, I learned so much. It was bigger than basketball, and I met some beautiful people here. Some have passed on, some are still here. Then I'm very grateful for meeting. I'm sitting here wondering. I'm like, wow, if my mother and father was still there, I'm sure they'd be tickled, to see this. But I feel very fortunate and blessed to be a part of this such a community in Murray State.
1964 was the first NCAA tournament trip. 1969 was the second, and then we had almost 2 decades. 1988 was the first in a 12-year run of 8 trips to the tournament. What did it mean to you to be able to play in the NCAA tournament? To be able to just be part of it?
First, I want to thank Coach Newton for giving me the opportunity to attend Murray State and play. But kind of just to piggyback what everybody else has said, our team was successful because we were a close-knit team. We had Jeff and Don were already here, and a couple other guys were already here, but then Lindsay, myself, there were a couple guys came in from junior colleges, and then some freshmen. Paul came in as a freshman, Jeff came in as a freshman, Doug was already here. And it could have been very easy for the guys who were already here to go their separate ways, Lindsay and myself and the other junior college guys to kind of go our separate ways. But we found a way to come together, and Don and Jeff kind of introduced us to OVC basketball, Murray State, what it's all about. And so when people saw us on campus, they didn't see 1 or 2, they saw the whole team. When we went to breakfast, we had breakfast check every morning. Coach Metcalf was in the cafeteria. Even if you didn't eat breakfast, you had to get up and go. We went as a team. We knocked on each other's door, got everybody up, went as a team. We scheduled classes kind of where at lunchtime, all of us ate lunch together, all of us ate dinner together. So that kind of helped our success on the court because we knew each other. We knew what our team goals were. We knew what individual goals were. We knew Jeff was the All-American. We knew Don was our point guard and he's running the show. But our egos didn't get in the way. Everybody played for each other, and that was our success. I go back to what everybody's talking about with the community. Everybody here has met special people here in this community, and we still have those ties. The Martins were a family that took me in when I got here. When things were tough, when I didn't have things that I may have needed, they were always there for me. I'm 55 years old. They're still always there for me now. And I think that is a big part of the success. When you can go to a community where you're not from that community, even if you're from that state, it's still tough. And, I just think the Martins, and there's a whole lot of other families that I've met the years I've been here and I played that have always been there for us. But, our coaching staff taught us to be a tight-knit group, and we had our battles. There were arguments, there were scuffles, but at the end of the day, we were playing for each other, and that's what helped us get the win in Lincoln, Nebraska.
That NCAA tournament win in Lincoln, Nebraska, Don Mann, I know we've spoken about it before, but hotel accommodations were not quite up to your standards. Could you share that story with the group, please?
No, they out in Lincoln, Nebraska, they had all this red
signs Murray who. And Jeff and I, we were trying to get us some rest before the game started. We heard a loud noise downstairs, and I looked downstairs, and I saw about 9,000 blue and gold fans standing down there in our hotel, and I woke Jeff up. I said, homie, wake up. I said, there's no way we can lose tonight. We got to win this one. And so it meant a lot to me. They had us in some football players' dorm rooms rather than a regular hotel all cooped up. And I said, we'll make them pay for it tonight. I cannot explain to you what Murray has meant to me in my family. Just coming here from Dyersburg, giving me an opportunity to get a free education, to meet a good group of guys up on the stage and the coaching staff. I learned so much from working every day with those guys. I learned to come to work every day ready to go. And I learned also, right in the middle of tribulation, to have patience. And I'll tell you about that. We were in Louisville in a hostile environment. And at halftime, we was getting drummed by 20. And Coach Newton came in there with his paper rolled up and said, men, we right where we want to be. And I looked around at him. I looked to see was anybody else looking at him. But what he was trying to tell us, poise, patience, and persistence equals excellence. And that's what he instilled in us. We would not quit. We would not quit. We control the tempo. No matter what anybody else did, we control our own destiny. That's what this team did.
It's been a long time since I've been back here. I didn't know the bleachers at Race Arena pushed back when we played. It's a lot different. No, Miss Whitaker's here. Is she here? Oh, hello. Wow, it's been a long time. It's good to see you. I don't know what I have to say, other than that reminds me, it's true, he says, we would be down at halftime by a lot of points, and we'd right where we want to be, and I would just look around, like we're getting killed right now. And funny story about the program rolled up. I was playing golf earlier today with a former baseball player that played at Murray State, Bobby Schoen, and I told him where I was coming later, and he went and got the program and rolled it up and started hitting his leg like Coach Newton used to do. It was a baseball player. I go, you're exactly right. Yeah, it happened today, actually. So it's good to see people. My big sis from fraternity's here, right there. I haven't seen her in forever. Wow. It's so good to see everybody. And one other story, I guess. I know I don't look that old, but I do have a 6-year-old. Started a little late. And he's in the basketball cards. And he got a lot of my old ones out. And he had a Jeff Martin basketball card. I think it was either the Clippers or the Pistons. And I told him I'm going to see him this weekend. And he was all excited about that. So you're in my house and on a basketball card now. So, but no, that's all I have to say. I just want to thank everyone and good to see everybody and welcome me back. It's been a long time, you know. We had a lot of fun. So,
Doug, what's it mean to you just to be back, to not only be honored with your teammates for that year, but also to see so many familiar faces out in the crowd tonight?
Yeah, for me, it's Rob, get a little emotional here. It's pretty obviously. I thank Coach Newton for the opportunity to be here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. I know Mike Deal passed away recently and recruited me and knew my family a long time, and my dad. So my dad is from Benton, and so Murray's just been a part of my life, this West Kentucky area, really, since I was very young. And so yeah, it's just neat being back. The people that have cared for me, that I've known, obviously my family. It just means a lot. And just talking about Coach Newton and the other coaches, one thing, my freshman year we were not very good, or we were okay, but we ended up losing quite a little bit there. And the one thing Coach Newton and the staff always did, I think we used to always say, even when that year, expect to be the best, going to be the best, going to win the OVC. So that was in our freshman year when we weren't very good, and obviously you can look at the things that come. So there was great expectation, and I think that says a lot about the coaches and our program and kind of where it is today, that we had that vision, and we all did buy into that. So that's pretty neat to me. And these guys, I probably didn't realize at the time the friendships we had and the experiences we shared. And for me, our kid from a small rural community to, come and become friends with and get to know and share experiences with guys from all sorts of different backgrounds is just a pretty amazing experience, I would say. And to be truthful, the last thing I'll say is I'm amazed, being a Murray State alumni, at the number of Murray State people there in Nashville, Tennessee, and around the country. And it's a pretty close-knit group, and so it's neat that I can go pretty much anywhere, and I'll run into somebody that knows who Murray State is, and certainly I have that connection with them. So pretty special place, I would say.
Well, players, coaches.
Can I say one more thing? I forgot one thing. Sorry.
Go right ahead.
I promised my dad, he wanted to say congratulations to Coach Newton. My dad and Coach Newton were teammates at Indiana State, played basketball together, and they go way back, and he wanted to say congratulations to you. And I'll tell him hello. Yeah.
Players, coaches, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We now want to bring Jeff Martin up to the podium for a few words.
It's definitely great to be back here in Mary. It's good to see my teammates. Some of my teammates I haven't saw in decades. The coaching staff, I could say this: I had the best teammates and the best coaching staff, that anybody could have. I do want to thank Coach Prom for putting this together and bringing us back. This is a great tradition to bring the players back. It's a good way to keep us connected. And, as Doug mentioned, I do want to acknowledge Coach Dale. Coach Newton, Coach Dale recruited me. He actually came to Cherry Valley. Cherry Valley, little town, that's where I'm from, Cherry Valley, Arkansas, town of about 400 people. So he came to Cherry Valley, came to Cross County High School, and, talked with them. They called me out of class. We got a recruiter here, and I talked with them, and, he wanted to see me, shoot the basketball. I didn't have any gear on, so I literally shot jumpers in my jeans. And, I guess I did well enough because I got a recruiting trip to Mary where I met Coach Newton. And when I met Coach Newton, my first impression was he was a straight shooter. He was a straight shooter. He talked about his expectations, like Coach Bernstein was talking about, what he expects from us, what he expects from his team, showed me around Mary. And by the time that visit was over, I knew I was coming to Mary State, and I knew I wanted to play for Coach Newton. So the reason why we're here is because of our 87 and 88 team, because of these guys right here, and these coaches. That year started off slow for us. We got into the conference season, and we started getting on the roll in the conference. And, for that year, we did lose one game. And that game, unfortunately, was to Austin Peay. I don't know how Austin Peay is now, but back then, the players was cocky, the coaches was obnoxious, and the fans were equally obnoxious. So, as you can tell, I might feel some kind of way about Austin Peay still to this day. But anyway, so they came to Racer Arena, and we didn't lose many games in Racer Arena. And they came to Racer Arena and beat us at home. And, typical Austin Peay. They talked a lot of noise and all that good stuff. But that was on a Saturday, and we had to play them again that Monday. So we had, Saturday night, Sunday to stew a little bit. And, we looked forward to playing them again. There was no way we were going to lose that next game. So we did go up in Austin Peay in Clarksville, and we did beat them. And once again, typical Austin Peay fans and players. They talked a lot of noise and not great losers, but we celebrated on their floor, so we got that win. So the one thing about moving to the new conference, you're getting away from Austin Peay. So Anyway, so we took off from there. You know, we continue. We didn't lose another game rest of the conference season, and got to the NCAAs and played against NC State. You know, when we ended up beating them. One thing I do remember about Coach Newton leading up to those games, you know, during the whole season, you know, Coach Newton would never let us get too high. He never let us get too low. He'll always try to keep us level. So leading up to the NCAA game, you know, in the press, in the media, you know, we didn't have social media back then. So, you know, in the newspapers, on Channel 6 News, you know, he would always downplay, you know, hey, we're going to go out and be competitive. You know, we're going to do our best. You know, we're going to, you know, hopefully have a good showing. But when we got in that locker room, the expectations from this team right here and this coaching staff was we're going to go out there and win the game. You know, no matter, you know, we had media Coach Newton, and then we had in the locker room Coach Newton. And locker room Coach Newton knew we were going to win, and that's what we did. So, you know, we did win that game and played Kansas, you know, played them tough. You know, we ended up losing a tough game. And, you know, a couple of years later, I ended up playing with Danny Manning. You know, he was a great player, you know, good college player. Ended up playing with him. He had his championship ring on. So he had all the teams on the ring. We had Murray State there. You know, we played them closer than any other team in the tournament on their way to the national championship. Then he started telling me about some games he watched in Murray State, and that's when I knew that Murray State was on the map. So, you know, I'd like to think that this team, the 87, 88 team, you know, got us on the map. But since then, everybody else, all the teams that followed, just took it to new heights. I mean, we've had great players, we've had you know, great teams, we've had great coaches, and you know, we will continue the tradition of winning games. So I do want to leave with this, you know, talking about Coach Newton, the kind of character and the kind of man he is. During that year, we had a tournament in Austin, Texas, University of Texas. We had the Longhorn Classic, played a couple of games. You know, unfortunately, we didn't win the tournament. So after the tournament, Coach, you know, let us go out, you know. In Austin, there's a place called 6th Street. So we went out and did some team bonding on 6th Street for a little while. So for those who are familiar with 6th Street, you know, it's where the college kids hang out at. You know? So we went and did some team bonding. And, you know, we had a pickup point at a certain time. I think it was midnight. So the band came by and to get everybody, and everybody got on the band. Me and, you know, he's not here tonight, but Carl Size, we decided we wanted to do a little bit more team bonding. So, so we stayed out a little bit longer. So we ended up getting back to the hotel around 3 o'clock, and you know, that's a lot of team bonding, by the way. Well, we get back to the hotel by 3 o'clock, and you know, get to the hotel, go through the doors, and guess who's sitting in the lobby? Coach Newton. I don't know how my face looked, but I know what I felt. Like what the hell? I'm sure he was saying the same thing. But did not say a word. He got up, looked at us, turned around, and went to his room. You know, at the time, you know, me and Carl started looking at each other like, you know, what's going on? So, but at the time, you know, I didn't understand it. But since then, you know, I have a son. You know, I've stayed up some nights, particularly in Houston. You know, waiting for my son to come home. And all you want to do is get your kids home, and that's what he was doing. You know, he just wanted to make sure we made it home safe. And that speaks to Coach Newton's character. He cared about us, you know, not only as a team, but he cared about us as people, as individuals. And, you know, I can't thank him enough for what he's done, you know, not only for this program and, you know, for this team and for his teams, but for me, you know, personally. You know, he's always been there for me. You know, he's always been that person that you can always go to. So, you know, this is a well-deserved honor for you, Coach, and I thank you for everything you've done. The end to that story was when we got back to Murray, he ran the crap out of us. So just to, you know, so we didn't get away with anything. So with that, Coach Newton and Kathy, could you come up, please?
I just want to take one moment here to say how blessed I was to be the coach of Murray State and all the wonderful support we had there. It takes great players and great assistant coaches to be successful, and I was blessed to be a big part of that. And I want to thank all of you for your support, and all I can say is, go Racers!
So glad Coach Newton could be here tonight, and so many of the players and his assistants. This has always been it's one of my favorite events every year, even though I never got to come to it for outside the first 10 minutes. So this is extra special tonight. As we've talked about now, really for the last hour, this program has been built for decades on tradition. And these guys and coaches really sort of kicked in the first monumental door, winning a game in the tournament. And the 35 years since then, this program has just continued to go onward and upward and continue to build upon that tradition every year that has gone on. So time to look back at the video screens one more time as we celebrate that Racer tradition.
Brown for the record 3. It's good! The new 3-point leader all time in a career. Rebound, Pichelle. Pichelle throws to Welchel. Welchel, 3 at the buzzer. He hit it! He hit it! He hit it! It's good! It's good! The Racers win! It into Reese. Reese will bring it up the floor. 2 seconds, 1 second. Shot at the buzzer by Reese. It's good! It's good! He did it again! He did it again! He did it again! Reese does it again! McLean gets it into Miles. Up the far sideline. Shoots at the buzzer. Goal! It's good! Buchanan. No look pass. Goes inside for the dunk. Morant. Wow! Look at this arena explode! No, he did not, and they are on their feet.
5 seconds, 4 seconds. He puts it up. It is no good. It is over. Racers win.
Rule 7 on the shot clock. Gets it out to Cannon. Cannon loses the handle on the ball. Picks it up. He's going to have to shoot from his knees. And he banked it in! He banked it in from his knees!
He'll shoot! Off bounds! I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Off to Cannon, who's sizzling hot. Another 3. Gone! It's good! And Dave Luce is going to take a timeout. And couldn't do it. Williams, 3 at the top. Money! midcourt stripe. 3 to win it, and he hit it! To Miles. Miles takes it to Gennaro Thomas. Jumper for the win. Good! It's good! It's good! The Racers win on the jumper by Gennaro Thomas. A dog pile in the end zone. And we're dancing and extending the stay to San Jose!
Awesome. Awesome. All right, as we start to wind things down now, I want to welcome in one of the best to ever do it, the Hall of Famer, Neil Bradley.
Thank you. Those are great memories, by the way. Excuse me. You see all the players and coaches and wonderful fans, and it brings back so many terrific memories for me. And I know in our hearts we'd like for this kind of night to go on and on. But our bladder says no. So with that being said, let's get on with the toast to the program. We have all had a special time, be it young or old, the moment we abandon other colors for the Racers' blue and gold. For me, it was a Western game, a thunderous Racer Arena crowd, when Cal Luther tossed his coat. I'd never heard anything so loud. The Racers beat the Toppers, led by Jimmy Young and his flowing mop. It continued a Murray State tradition of mostly coming out on top. Cutchin got it started. Later, Hodges took the bridle. Then Luther grabbed the reins and won 3 more conference titles. Enthusiasm made the difference when Ron Green's teams took the floor, and opponents knew to start the bus when he started the 4 to score. Newton Shirts and Skins delivered 4 more titles to the gate and left Jim Valvano speechless when they upset NC State. Edgar brought a pace that drove opposing teams insane, and it brought us 3 more championships before he left us for Duquesne. Then Municipal haunted Gottfried after Shoulders blew his whistle, but 3 titles in 3 years certainly softened that night's bristle. Tevester won 2 titles and turned the other teams to chasers. He beat them, did his post-game show, and then said, "Hey, go Racers." Huggins and Patino groomed our next coach, Michael Cronin, and mixed 2 tourney titles, left Dave Luce in his bunch groaning. Not a professional poet. I do the best I can do on that. Kennedy was next in line and taught us defense would be handy to extend the stay in San Jose with a buzzer beater on Vandy. Prohm had never coached before. Would there still be wins and fun? Oh, yes. A top 10 ranking, 23 straight, and eventually 31. Sapp's miracle at SEMO was borderline insane, and a CIT championship in April thanks to lottery pick campaign. McMahon danced with Stark and Miller, Demetrius and Shaq, then Ja triple-doubled Marquette as the Racers went back-to-back. First-round pick Morant was the Rookie of the Year, then 31 wins from Tevin, KJ, and Juice kept the OVC in fear. Bye-bye. But the players made it happen, from Jumpin' Joe to Garrett Bashir, Benny Purcell, Howie Crittenden, Johnny Reagan. It goes on for years. Sullins, Herndon, Jennings, Johnson's, Big Cat, and Stu, McPherson, Taylor, Verdon, Young, Muff, and Namasu. Blondette, Streety, Hooker, Green, Sleets, Coleman, and Glass, Martin and Mann, Popeye and Frank. Is it any wonder we're kicking ass? Hood, Rainey, Spencer, Reese, Spoon, and Marcus Brown, Cunningham, Cuffey, Griffith, Daniel, and Holloway from downtown. Poole, Townsend, King, Jesse Williams, Shoe and Mew, you see, DT, BJ, Miles at the buzzer, and dancing with Dickie V. Singleton, Aska, Long, and Tony, Burdine, and Floyd Burdette. McLean to Miles to Denaro, Popeye's 37, and you ain't seen nothing yet. The Coble shot, the Randall tip, Cannon hit it from his knees, Mann and Welchel from midcourt, and there's many more like these, but the time has come to toast these men, so raise a glass into the air as we charge into the Missouri Valley. So fire up the old gray mare.
Neil Bradley. Thank you all for being here tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed this night as much as I have. Tomorrow, we've got golf at 8 a.m., so team bonding may need to be at a limited edition this evening, Mr. Martin, so we can be at the course at 8. There will be pickup games here in the arena when golf is over tomorrow. Before everybody gets out of here, all the players, everybody that's been associated with this program, Racer Dave wants to get pictures of all you guys up here on stage before you guys bolt out of here. So on behalf of everybody within the Murray State basketball program, Steve Prohm and everybody on down, thank you for coming tonight. Safe travels home. Have a good weekend.